Hi guys, my name is Trinity, and if you are here, you must be here to watch me do another tag video, because I saw this tag and it looked like fun. Megan is the one who I saw do this tag, and I will link her video down below. But again, I'm going to be doing another semi-negative tag video. I don't know why I find them to be so much fun. But I do like sharing my book tastes with you guys, and so tag videos are always a great way to do that. So the first question is, name a book that you predicted would be 5 stars but wasn't. Now for this one, I did predict this to be a 5-star. It was on my 5-star predictions video. I really thought that I would sit down, read it, love it. It would be fantastic. Guess what? It still was fantastic. I just wasn't head over heels in love with it. It was really good. I gave it 4 stars, and you guys will see this in my wrap up. I don't know which video will go up first, but this is part of my Pop Sugar Challenge in reading a genre bending book. This is sci-fi horror thriller. It reads very much like The Ritual, and I really liked it. I just wasn't in love with it. However, this book did prompt me to pick up other books by Tim Levin, because 4 stars, still good, y'all. It's still good. I liked it. I just wasn't in love with it. The next question is, name a book that had a great beginning but let you down in the end. And you guys have heard me talk about this book before, but The Secret History of Witches by Louisa Morgan. Yes, I will put a picture up. I was entranced with the beautiful, beautiful writing. I was thoroughly wrapped up in the beginning of this story. It was so good. The intro chapters were so heart-pounding and gripping. And then it fell into a pattern of repetition, and I could not stand it. There was no witchcraft. It's a secret history of witches, and there's no witchcraft. The magic use was only used for reproductive purposes, and that drove me insane. I ended up actually really, really disliking this book in the end because of all of the elements that rubbed me the wrong way. The constant repetition drove me nuts. The next question is, do you have a book with a pretty cover but an ugly spine? I looked through my books and I really, really had a hard time with this. So this spine is not ugly, but it's like bland. So it was the only one I could come up with. But look at the cover. I really like the cover. I really want to read this book, like pretty bad. I just haven't had the chance to yet. And I mean, I love the end papers too. They're a map. But this was the only spine that was just fairly bland, and so I chose it. The rest of my spines are pretty colorful. I mean, you can look behind me. I still don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's not exactly ugly. Do you have a series that doesn't match? Hang on, I'm gonna have to grab it. Okay. The series I'm currently reading. I don't know how this happened. But this is my Loch Lamora series. The Gentleman Bastards. Look at this. How are they all three such different sizes? I don't understand. I feel like they're growing up because 1, 2, 3. Okay, the next question is there a book from your childhood that you can only partially remember or can't seem to find anywhere? As you guys know, if you've been watching my videos, I wasn't a young reader. So no, there's not one that I can't remember or is nostalgic yet I can't find. The next question is there a book that you are certain you have read, but you remember absolutely nothing about? Yes. That would be Druid by Dan Simmons. I know I've read this. I know I have read this. But I cannot remember anything about it. Nothing. Nothing at all. Like, Dickens. That's all I remember. That's it. But yeah, Druid, I can't remember anything about it. Have you ever recommended a book to someone and they told you everything they hated about it? Yes, I have. And my mom is very honest, just as I am. I get it from her. And if she doesn't like something, she's not going to sugarcoat it. And even if I tell her like a favorite book of mine, she'll be like, oh, yeah, well, it was okay. But my mom and I have different reading tastes, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I like epic fantasy horror. She loves horror, so we just like different types of horror. I kind of lean more towards the paranormal, supernatural, and she's very much a King fan. But I recommend books to my mom all the time. She recommends books to me all the time. We buy each other books all the time. And neither one of us is too shy about letting the other person know what we thought about that particular book. What is your worst experience loaning a book to someone? Oh, my best friend, she's gonna see this. And she's gonna be like, oh my god, I did that. Oh, my best friend Taylor, I loaned her 3 or 4 books when she was having a rough time, and I don't loan my books out. I don't do it. The reason I don't do it is if you're going to have a book of mine, you're going to keep it and I'm going to repurchase it because you're not going to treat my book right, because my books need to be pristine and I'm very particular about that. And most of my friends know that I'm like this. However, she wanted to borrow some books. And seeing as how she was my best friend, I was like, okay. Very grudgingly lent a few books out to her. And one, I still haven't got most of them back. But she had one in her backpack with the dust jacket torn halfway up the back of it. I saw it and almost cried. And then I was like, oh, okay, you have to bring one of my favorite books back. Like, you have to give it back to me. You can't have it anymore. However, that particular book, I actually planned on unhauling, so she can keep it. I don't want it. But I did get the one that was actually a favorite of mine back, and it's back in my shelves. I probably won't let her borrow books again. Sorry, Taylor. show off some impulse buys that you've never read. Wouldn't that be half the books on my shelves? You guys know that I go to the buy sell trade all the time, and I end up picking up books that look good. I'm not going to show you some of the ones that came in my recent haul, but I will show some of them off. So, Fools and Mortals by Bernard Cornwell. This was an impulse buy for the simple fact that it's Bernard Cornwell. And Shakespeare. I read The Last Kingdom and I thought it was good. And when I saw that he had a Shakespeare novel, I picked that one up. This was an impulse buy, but it also had something to do with book 2. Caraval. I saw it on a shelf. It was cheap and I bought it. Okay, these next 2 are fantasy series, and I have this strong desire to own all the fantasy books. But when I go to the buy sell trade, a lot of times what happens is I will buy the first book, but when I go back to buy the second book, it's not there. So when I purchase fantasy novels at the buy sell trade, I try to get series, and I try to get the whole series. So I've had these on my shelves for a while. I do plan to read them. I just haven't read them yet. I also recently picked up another book of his that I found at the buy sell trade. But yeah, Shadow Dance Trilogy. I really want to read these. They sound good. I just haven't got to them yet. And then another trilogy that I haven't got to yet that I've had for a little while is the Age of Fire trilogy by E.E. Knight. They sound really good. So I'm very interested in this because the characters are dragons, and that sounds fantastic. I've never read anything by E.E. Knight. Let me know if you guys have read these. The last question is, how many unread books are on your shelves? I am not going to deign to answer this question because I have no idea. As you guys know, I buy books at the buy sell trade for credit, and when I don't like a book, or when it's not to my taste, when it's not one that I'm going to reread, it's not one that I feel like can sit on my shelves and then I'll pick it up later, I take it back. And so a lot of what is on my shelves are books I need to read. And, about a third of them are books I plan to keep forever. So it's very skewed in the direction of unread books. Again, because I go to the buy sell trade a lot. You guys saw that I just did a 40 book haul, and they will change over the course of time because of the way that I handle and read books. So there's a lot on my shelves. Do I feel bad about it? I don't. Do I feel like there is a weird stigma around people with unread books on their shelves? Yeah. But I'm a little different in the fact that I buy books with the intention to read them, and I do read them, but I clear them off of my shelves and replace them with books I want to read, quite often. All right, that was the frustrating book tag. And subscribe, do all the fun things. I will see you in my next video. Have a great day.